So y'all ever been in school and you find there is a couple of teachers or staff members that was kind of like off, something was wrong with them, you knew to stay away from them, or they have some secrets that you know about that should be unfolded? I have no idea. So this story that I'm gonna go over today is just because, a lot of these conversations that's going on in school, I'm pretty sure this might have happened before, not this type of story, but you know, staff members might see that there might be a couple of students that look interesting. They're developing to become beautiful, they're developing to become handsome and stuff like that. So they enamor them with all these like, oh, you look nice today and all this other stuff. And it might have kind of been on the men's side that these teachers want to have sex with them. It's like a video I did way back on my channel where I was discussing about how there was like a teacher who was having sex with a teenager, having this whole entire thing going on because she was curious about getting some dick from one of the class members. This story, however, would really shock you because I would never understand what would pose a man like this to go on this adventurous thing of trying to keep and lock a student along with them so that they can't leave, so that he can profess this like love that he has for her. I mean, people are just crazy nowadays. And do I believe the guy is a quote unquote map? Gotta be. So, in understanding what I'm talking about, I'm going to share my screen so we can go over this video together so you can get exactly what I'm talking about. So, Pete,
West Baton Rouge Parish put a school bus driver in jail.
Police say this man, Christopher Taplin, kept a 13-year-old on his bus well past her stop. When they were alone, that's when things took a creepy turn. That is not all. This issue's Best Casualty live in Bruley with the rest of the story.
Michael Sylvia, those who know him say this is completely out of character for the bus driver. And we're told tonight the victim in this case is okay after this harrowing experience.
so to get a frontal view of what's going on, the bus driver kidnaps a 13-year-old, takes the same bus every day, and this bus driver, for whatever reason, decided to go out of his way in keeping her as the last passenger on the bus and not being able to let her off so that he can tell her that he's in love with her. And the reason I do this video is because do I think that the future generation, Generation Alpha in particular, they're gonna have to go through some lifelong shit when it comes to this? Absolutely, because they're starting to open up the floodgates where, I call it it's starting to be a different paradigm. Adults are starting to morph into the children mindset. Children are starting to morph into the adult mindset. But the thing about it in these schools is that too much openness is starting to happen where they're starting to treat their professions as open opportunities for dating practices, you understand? In which, they might allow so-called pedos, not even so-called, they might allow pedos to start going up in your child's school and start teaching lessons, but then being able to keep one of your students after class so that they can get that extra A plus, if you understand what I'm saying. But not to make a joke out of this, because this is very disturbing at the surface, you understand? But I just wanted to make this video because it's like, yo, like, what were you thinking? You know what I'm saying?
Parents and students on the west side are in shock tonight after news of a well-known bus driver trying to kidnap a student broke. 33-year-old Christopher Taplin has been booked with kidnapping and stalking a 13-year-old girl who was a regular on his bus route. Police say Taplin let everyone off the bus except the girl and held her captive as he professed his love for her. And police say it was all recorded. Bruley High School student Layla Green isn't much older.
If I think about it, is more than likely he has some mental issues he was suffering from. It had to be, because what would profess him to want to do something like this on a regular school day with some random student? He could have gotten women his own age. Why did he have to go after a 13-year-old, 20 years older than her?
Than the victim.
Originally, I was scared for a little girl to be kidnapped like that, the last one on the bus. I would hate to be the last one on the bus. And you wouldn't expect that. And I expect more out of people, especially a grown man.
As did most of the community. According to Bruley PD, Taplin was well known and liked around town. Green says she knows people who rode on his bus.
A lot of my teammates and my classmates rode his bus, and they wouldn't expect that from him. They were really shocked about it. And that just goes to show you that you don't know what a person's intentions are. Like, you will never know.
Taplin told the victim he'd been watching her since she started middle school, even going so far as to call her family to tell them he was in love with their daughter.
And you know what it is too? I think that I've been trying to make this a point since since earlier. It's actually something that I've started noticing. Not that I really try to pay attention to this in detail, but too many times parents are at fault for the problems that they put on their children uh, unsubconsciously. Like, they don't notice it, but other people do. And the reason I say that is because of social media is starting to take over the control of the generation alpha, where they're getting on TikTok and dancing provocatively at a younger age. They're able to put up all these sexy-esque type of videos and all these different things. And their parents is allowing this stuff. Their parents is actually promoting this. So I don't know this child's story, the 13-year-old. I don't know. I'm not going to say that she was like that. I'm not going to say that her parents, but I always say that for stalking, it goes beyond just school activities. This man, to be the age that he is, more than likely was watching her profile on social media and was watching her everyday moves on what she was posting about and waiting for the time that she's starting to develop in order to start, cementing his plans on trying to holler at her or trying to get her alone and all these different things, man. A very sick, sick world.
I'm pretty sure that little girl would have never guessed that her bus driver, someone she trusts to get her back and forth to school, would ever think of something or preyed on her in that kind of way.
Well, you can never be too sure. People always have their sick, demented plans. But I would say, just because I start to analyze a generation that it's just something I believe a lot of people need to be careful for. I'm pretty sure any old parent wouldn't think a bus driver is trying to come on to their son or their daughter. They would just think, oh, take my child to school. The bus driver is going to drive her there. That's it. You would trust that your child is being transported from point A to point B. But the only reason I make this video is because not only is this story really disturbing, but also just the fact that because of this whole entire thing that's happening, they're allowing more of these maps to be in these schools. A lot of people, I think that's where the direction we're heading into. A lot of these maps, and you can watch the video on that, maps is going to be allowed to teach in these schools, drive in these schools. As long as they don't do anything physically, they're going to be okay. But I have a feeling that, a lot of this leftist agendas is going to be put into the schools more so than not. And there's going to be a lot of cases that come out. But peace.